Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayeshu Bhaktareshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By recommending the classes of the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnananandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Alright, Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So we are on chapter 5. So this chapter is about the instructions given by Rishabdev to his sons. So how many sons did Rishabdev have?
100.
That's right, 100 sons. And what are the lessons that we have seen in the previous verses? If anybody can point out anything specific.
It's just like Raja Priyamra, he was very much spiritual and he did not want to be into this materialistic world, but still just to fulfill his duties. He did indulge, and then as soon as he fulfilled his duties, he just like went back to the spiritual life again. Then Agnivedha was there, Agnivedha, right? His son, and Agnivedha wanted to have somebody like Krishna, and he did austerities, and Rishabdev was the incarnation of Krishna, and Rishabdev's son is Bharat, Raja Bharat, and whose name called Planet Earth.
Right, exactly. So he is giving lessons to his sons, saying that you should do austerity and penance, and sense gratification is going to let you nowhere, and the real thing, the real purpose of the life is self-realization, which is being Krishna conscious and getting the loving of Krishna, get the love of Krishna, love Krishna, exactly. So we're going to see similar, continuing to that, we're going to see now verse number 6. Okay. Evam mana karma vasam prayukte.
Evam manha karma vasma prayukte.
Avidyayatmani upadhyayatmane.
Avidyayatmane upadhyayamani.
Pritirnayavan mayi vasudeve.
Pritirnayam mayi vasudeve.
Namuchyate deha yogena tavat.
Namuchyate deha yogena tavat.
Evam mana karma vasam prayukte.
Evam mana karma vasam prayukte.
Avidyayatmani upadhyayatmane.
Avidyayatmani upadhyayamani.
Pritirnayavan mayi vasudeve.
Pritirnayavam mayi vasudeve.
Namuchyate deha yogena tavat.
Namuchyate deha yogena tavat.
Evam mana karma vasam prayukte.
avidyayamani upadhyayamani
Pretirnayavamani Vasudeve
Pretirnayamani vasudeve namuchyate dehayogena tavat
Evam manah karma vasham prayukte
evam manah karmanasham prayukte avidyayamani upadhyayamani
Pretirnayavanmayi Vasudeve
Pretirnayamani vasudeve namuchyate dehayogena tavat
एवं मन कर्म वश प्रयुक्ते
evam manah karmanasham prayukte avidyayamani upadhyayamani Pretirnayavanmayi vasudeve Pretirnayamani vasudeve
नामुच्यते देहायोगेन तावत्
namuchyate dehayogena tavat
एवं मन कर्म वशं प्रयुक्ते
evam manah karmanasham prayukte avidyayamani upadhyayamani Pretirnayamani vasudeve
तेनायावन्मयि वासुदेवे
Namuchyate Deha Yogena Tava
namuchyate dehayogena tavat
Everyone together, word to word meaning. Evam
एवं
manah karma vasam
Associated by fruitive activities,
प्रयुक्ते
acts, avidyaya by ignorance, atmani when the living entity, upadhyayamani is discovered, priti love,
not yavat as long as my onto me
vasudeve
Vasudeva Krishna na not
mujyate is delivered,
देहायोगेन from
material body.
tavat so long.
Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Everyone together.
When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and that is associated to fruitive activities. Therefore, my mind
Has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself. He is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again.
Purport, who would like to read purport? Go ahead.
When the mind is polluted by fruitive activity, the living entity wants to be elevated from one material position to another. Generally, everyone is involved in working hard day and night to improve his economic condition. Even when one understands the Vedic rituals, he becomes interested in promotion to heavenly planets, not knowing that one's real interest lies in returning home, back to Godhead. By acting on the platform of fruitive activity, one wanders throughout the universe in different species and forms. Unless he comes in contact with the devotee of the Lord, the Guru, he does not become attached to the service of Lord Vasudeva. Knowledge of Vasudeva requires many words to understand, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Vasudeva Sarvam Itisa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After struggling for existence for many births, one may take shelter at the lotus feet of Vasudeva Krishna. When this happens, one actually becomes wise and surrenders unto him. That is the only way to stop the repetition of birth and death. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.151, in the instructions given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami at Dashashwamedh Ghat. Brahmananda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beej.
translation that it mentions about the living entity being covered by the mode of ignorance. So when he's covered by the mode of ignorance, like there are three modes of nature, right? What are the three modes?
Goodness, passion, ignorance.
Yeah. So it's Satagun,
Rajas,
Rajagun, and Tamagun. So here it talks about when one is covered by the mode of ignorance, he doesn't understand the difference between a living entity and the supreme living entity. Like he is just thinking that he'll be subjected to fluid activity. So he will think that I will just work and then I will enjoy. So what is wrong in that, right? He's doing his work, he's working hard, and then he wants to enjoy. So what is the problem with this? If he wants to enjoy after working hard. Yeah.
The living entity wants to enjoy, that is itself a problem because he is not the enjoyer. It is said that Krishna is the enjoyer, right?
Right. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yagachapsam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is a supreme enjoyer. So we are not here to enjoy. Right? We are here to do what then? What are we here to do?
Service.
Service? Yeah, service. Motivation.
After working hard, some motivation is needed.
Okay. So you say you want to enjoy. To work more hard. Yeah, that is what is saying, that we don't have to work hard. The Lord is giving us everything. Even the animals, there are 8.4 million species. The Lord is giving them food. The elephant requires 40 kgs of breakfast every day. How is he getting that without even working hard? And the animals and everyone are doing the same thing, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So how are we different from them? That is what Rishabh is telling to his sons. Tapo divyam putrakalena, by austerity and penance. This is what we are supposed to do in this life.
Somebody has to open the schools, construct the roads.
Yeah, that is there. They have to do that, but they should not think that I have done this. Or I have done this, now I have to enjoy. Right? They have to think that, oh, I'm doing this for the devotees of Krishna. They have to use this road, they will be using this road for their whatever they want to do. So that should be the mood. And the mood should not be that, I have to work hard because I have to earn money, I have to eat, I have to live. So if we are like completely surrendered to Krishna, then our life is, worth living there. Exactly. And in right, exactly, because we have got this knowledge from someone gave us this knowledge. So it is our responsibility now to, pass on this knowledge to other people and let them know, right? Because we have to make sure that we give this knowledge to more people. It is our responsibility to give the knowledge, but they don't understand that will depend on their sukriti, how much sukriti they have. But what is in our hands is to give that knowledge. So that should be our best goal, that we are doing preaching, and also we are doing devotional service as well. That is what. And in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that one who is the dearest to me is the one who gives this knowledge to others. Right? So it's very important that we give this knowledge. And then it mentions about the verse mentions about avidya. So there are like two types of avidya: ignorance and unawareness. So both of them are very dangerous. Ignorance, what is ignorance? Ignorance is when we have the knowledge and still we are not using the knowledge. And awareness is that we don't have the knowledge, right? So both of them are dangerous because, for example, I know that if I go from Roxborough Street, if I want to take a left to Avenue Road, that is not allowed. But if I take that, even after knowing that left turn is not allowed, then I'll be given a fine. And second one is the unawareness, that I don't know that the left turn is not allowed. So if the traffic police catches you, are you going to tell him that, oh, I did not know that there is no left turn on Avenue Road. No, right? So both of them are very much dangerous, and we are we have to be. That is why if we have the knowledge and we don't use it, then it's not good. And if we don't have the knowledge, we should be in the search of it, right? We should not think that we have all the knowledge, everything, and we should be proud that I know everything, and that should not be our mood. Our mood should be always of a student. Even we are reading this verse, we know that we have to get the love of God. We know this, but it's very important that we drill this knowledge to ourselves, because it's not very easy to understand this knowledge. Only by reading scriptures and examples of other pure devotees, we may understand this knowledge. So, otherwise, the main problem is Deha Yogina, the body coming in contact with the material body. If we don't understand this knowledge and apply it, then again we have to take another body. And there are like 8.4 million species. We don't know which body we are going to get. And this human form of body is very rare. So you have to make sure that we make the best use of it by using our body in the devotional service of the Lord. Right? So there are like three modes, Satagun, Rajagun and Tamagun, as I said. So there is like mixture of everything in whatever we do, right? So it is called like Mishra Bhakti. So like there are like 3 into 3, 9, and then 9 into 9 is 81. So like there are 81 types of mixtures where we could get from these three modes, right? So our goal has to be that first to get the knowledge, and then once we have the knowledge, to use that knowledge, right? Then only we will be out from the avidya. Otherwise, even after having the knowledge, if we are not using the knowledge, it doesn't make sense, right? Then what is the use of the knowledge if we have gained the knowledge? If we are doing the same things, doing sense gratification and then doing prajalpa, that is why it's very important that we hear. Shrinatam Sarvatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hearing is the best time, is the best use that we can use in the service and to understand this knowledge. Because when we hear from pure devotees, we read the scriptures, reading, that helps us to gain this knowledge even further, because this knowledge is very deep. You won't understand just by, if I say someone outside that we have to, do devotional service to the Lord. He won't understand this knowledge. He will be like, okay, fine, but how does it make sense? So only by hearing continuously by the pure devotees, hearing coming from Bhagavatam class, Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, then only we will be able to understand and put this knowledge into practice. So, and civilization means elevation, not degradation. But the civilization we see outside is degradation, right? Every time we are seeing like there's wars going on, famines going on, and all sort of, things which are not yet appropriate for your elevation, right? You can see there is like degradation going on everywhere. So this is not a civilization what we want. The civilization what we want is Preeti Nayavan Mai Vasudeva, developing the love for none other than Vasudeva, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if we don't do that, then what will happen? Na Uchyate Deha Yogena Tavat. You again have to take the material body, and again you have to get to this life cycle of birth and death, and you don't know when you will come out of it. So, and like how many miseries, like this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that this world is dukhalyam ashashvatam. So this world is full of miseries, but we did not have that knowledge. Before having this knowledge, we used to think that the person who has the most money, he would be the happiest, right? But no, that is not the case, because we don't know his miseries. We just see the lavish lifestyle, having so many cars, the most costliest cars, the best homes, all those things. That is what we see, and that is what we get allured by. But that is not we should be get allured by. We should think that we should feel pity for him, that he doesn't have this knowledge, and again he has to take birth in this material life, and I wish someone could have given him this knowledge, and that should be our mood. our mood should not be that, oh, he's got so much money, so even I should work hard and earn so much money so that even I can live a lavish lifestyle like that. That is what I used to think, and I think many of you guys also must be thinking about that. So that is why it is mentioned, and in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that Janmanam Bahunam Ante Jnanavan Ma Prapadyante Vasudevam Sarvamiti Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many, many births, one who is in full knowledge and surrenders unto me, he is the most he is the most beneficial soul. So we don't know how many births we have taken in. So after this birth, I don't want to take birth again in this material life because I now understand the disease. Because if I ask someone outside that would you like to take birth again in this material life, they will be like, oh yeah, why not? But they don't see the miseries that they are having. They only see the happiness that they have. But they don't understand how much they have to go through. The main thing with like taking birth in this life, I used to think, oh, I have to give board exams again, I have to study again. that used to be my more time. I don't want to study again in this life. Again, take birth and do so much hard work for what? For taking birth again? No way, I'm not doing this. So that is our goal should be. So one analogy is given of how many people are there. Like if we take a building, like who are the devotees of the Lord, and starting from the lowermost part of the building where people are not at the loving God, and then going to the 100th floor where the pure devotees are there, you would see that most of the people will be in the lower floors, right? And our goal should be to go to the highest floors, right? And the best way is to take the elevator. But how do we know how to take the elevator? That knowledge is to be given by a guru. That is why in the verse it mentions Brahman Brahmite Kunja Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti Rita Beej. Only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna where you get the seed of devotional service. So we should always take shelter of the spiritual master and ask questions, inquire about him. Even in the previous verse we had seen about inquiring inquiring about the spiritual process, inquiring about how we can get better, how we can develop more love of Godhead. That should be our mood. And our mood should be submissive. We should be submissive to the spiritual master, and that will only come when we have faith in him. If we don't have faith in him, then we won't be submissive, and our mood will always be challenging. That we want to challenge him. That why is it like this? Why is it that like that? No, we have to understand that he has firstly sacrificed his life for getting this knowledge, for knowing this knowledge, and then he's sacrificing his whole life in only preaching, in only giving this knowledge, in only giving the pure love of God to everyone. So we should be very thankful to all the gurus which we have in ISKCON, and especially to Srila Prabhupada that he started this ISKCON. He came to the West. He was very much comfortable in his life in Vrindavan. He was in his 70s and he could have easily gone to Godhead by doing his bhajans and devotional service and being in Vrindavan. But he took so much austerity and penance, right? Coming out of Vrindavan in such an old age, that is an austerity and penance. And he didn't know where he is going, coming in a ship. It was not very easy for him to come. So we should understand that how much the devotees who have been in this movement have gone through, so that we are now have such a beautiful temple over here, and we have a beautiful conference room where we could sit peacefully. We have air conditioning over here. But earlier times this wasn't the way it was, right? They had to go through a lot of austerity. They had to sleep in tents and whatnot. They have to, and especially the Western devotees, when they went to India, they were not very comfortable with the warm temperatures over there. and then the insects and everything, but still they were there because their guru, they had faith in their guru. So that is how we have to have faith in our guru and Krishna, that we have to use this life for devoting it in devotional service, right? Otherwise, na hanyate hanyamani sharire. Our body is not destroyed by the destruction of this body, right? We are going to get another body, but it is your how you act in this life that will decide what body you get in your next life. If you want a spiritual body, then you have to work hard for it. And if you want a material body, then you can do whatever you want to, right? So it's our life, so we have to take the right decision. Otherwise, we'll be Brahmana, it says Brahmana Pramite. We have been wandering for so many births in the Brahman. There are like so many planets, and we have been just wandering, and after so much Sukirti, so much past life, we have got this life and we have come here. So it's very important that we use this life in the service of the Lord and gain Preeti Nayaman Mani Vasudeva, intense love for God. If you don't get this intense love for God, then we will not understand that why we are over here. Right? So that is very much important, and that is why we have to be very much, we have to be wise and surrender unto Him. Then only we will be able to get out of the repetition of birth and death. And then in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that he comes over here to establish dharma, right? Dharma samsthapanapaya sambhavami yuge yuge. But then in the end, he tells Krishna to give up all dharma and surrender unto him. So how is that? That first he says that he comes to establish dharma, and then he's telling Arjuna that give up all dharma and surrender unto me. Right, exactly. That is the gradual process where we understand the knowledge. First we have to understand that Krishna comes to establish dharma, and that is the real dharma, to surrender unto Krishna. Right? And that is why he says that our only goals, and we have like so many desires in this life, but in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned that we have to reach the stage of Anya Abhilashita Shunya, that we have zero desires, and our only desire should be to get service of the Lord in any planet which He wants us to be in, right? But so that is the gradual knowledge which we have to understand. Our first knowledge is that okay, we want to go back to Godhead, we want to go back to spiritual process. But once we are purified, a pure devotee thinks that he just wants the service of the Lord, right? So that should be our main goal, and to develop this love for God. And whatever we have, it is not ours, right? Whatever we have to be thankful to the Lord that whatever we have got in this life, and we have reached to this stage that we could understand this knowledge. Because in this world, so many people are still struggling with basic needs like food, water, shelter, that they cannot understand this knowledge. If I tell someone in Gaza that you should do devotional service to the Lord, he will not understand. Because as Shanky Prabhu had taught about Maslow's hierarchy, where we can only understand that knowledge, and this knowledge is the topmost knowledge, self-actualization. And we can only reach there once our basic necessities, needs and everything are taken care of. So we should be very thankful to God that we are here, we are sitting here, we are able to understand this knowledge because that is being taken care of. And this life we have to use that. We have to do our work as well. I would not say that completely give up your work. But yeah, that is the gradual process where you will understand, where your love for God will deepen, and the only thing which you would like to do is devotional service. So that is why this process is very gradual. We have to think that understanding this knowledge is going to take us time. We will not understand, okay, develop the love of God, how to love God. This is what our thoughts would be coming out, right? But if we understand that slowly, that developing the love of God, taking darshan of the Lord, thinking about how can I serve Him more, and basically He just likes that when devotees serve His devotees. So we should always take pleasure and try to find out how we can serve other devotees as well. And then only we'll be able to get this knowledge and understand that we have to get out of these miseries of life, right? And these miseries are arising due to ignorance. So, which I have mentioned about the avidya, right? Ignorance and unawareness. So, it is very important that otherwise we have to get out of this cycle of karma, right? Karma phalam. So, as it is in Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned that there are like three types of activities which we do: karma, akarma, and vikarma, right? So, in devotional service, what activity we have to do from these three? Akarma, yeah, that's right. So, we have to be akarma where we don't do any pious or sinful activity, but we do devotional service. Because if we do pious activity, then we will be gaining karma, and we do sinful activities, then we will be doing vikarma, right? And because of that, we have to, get that result, and then come, to get that result, we have to take another material body to get over that result, what we have done.
So what's the difference between pious activities and akarma?
So pious activities and akarma is devotional activities, devotional service. So there is a difference between devotional service and doing pious activities.
Pious activities, I think they give you good work,
Yeah,
but karma doesn't give you any work.
yeah, exactly. So it would be like giving food to the homeless, right? If you give food to the homeless, it is a pious activity. You might get a good work. But if you give this knowledge about Krishna, right, then you are helping him to elevate from this material world to, spiritual world.
Pious activities do not bring us closer to devotional service.
They bring you closer to the Lord of goodness.
Yeah. But we have to go more than goodness, which is Shuddh Satogun. We have to be in pure goodness. So that is what devotional service will lead us to. And that is why our main goal should be to get as many people to get this knowledge. Otherwise, it's like only like a very good analogy is given by just if you give a man a fish, then he will be only fed for one time. But if you have to teach him how to fish, then he will be fed for all his life, right? So in the same way, like if we do pious activities only in this life, he might have a better life. Giving food or doing something for whatever for the people who are the needy, doing something for them. That is only like they will be a little bit comfortable in this life. But we have to think about how they can get out of this.
It's like you go to meet someone in the gym and then you give them some food and then you come back.
Yeah, exactly.
I also have a beautiful analogy like if a man is drowning and you go there and save his clothes and come back. It's like that. So in this material world everyone is drowning. But if you go there, it's not that you don't have to give food. Prabhupada also started the food for life, but the main goal, the higher purpose is like to elevate them to the consciousness where they don't have to take the birth again. So that is the highest goal.
Right, exactly. And Chaitanya Chaitanya was also mentioning that this life is not the whole book. This life is just a chapter in our whole millions of lives which we have taken. So we don't have to think that okay, let's just enjoy this whole life and once this body is finished, everything is finished. No, you have to undergo the effects of karma if you have done something bad. Like if you have done sense gratification, then you have to undergo that, undergo the results of it. But if you have to get out of it, you have to understand that no, I have to stop whatever activities, the sense gratification activities I am doing, and how I can serve the Lord more, how I can engage more in devotional service. That should be our main goal, because this life is temporary, and every day, it's Amrendra gives that analogy of we being in the mouth of a crocodile. Every day we are going inside, more inside, and we don't know when we will be fully inside, and we might think that, oh, okay, let me just finish this test and then I can do devotional service, or let me, once I reach a certain age, then I will do devotional service. No, then it will be too late for us, that we don't understand, and that is why it is said that we should practice devotional service from the very childhood. Yeah, because anyways it's a gradual process, it's a step-by-step process. So it will take time to understand. And the more earlier we start, the more easy it is for us to be in the gradual. Yeah.
One question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How does elephant change his karma cycle? Like, an elephant doesn't have power to think, so what will his elephant's karmic reaction? That how can elephant get a human body?
Yeah, so he has to whatever the animals are there. It's a very good question, that how the animals they come to this, how do they get out of it? So so now we have got this human form of life. So this is rare. So what we have to do is we have to take care of this and do devotional service. But if we don't do devotional service, then we will get the result, right? So if I do something that I'm just eating, I'm just becoming like an elephant. So I will become an elephant right in my next life. So how do I come out of it? It's then again I have to go through the millions of births and everything, and then I will reach to that stage of having a human life again. So we should not be. That is why we should not be into sense gratification, right? If anybody has a better question, they can also answer.
They cannot, because they cannot think, that's why they have to go through a lot of death and birth and
Yeah.
go through a lot of birth on that cycle, and then they get the human form, and then they will be having a consciousness, and then they can be purified.
Right.
And the spiritual master will get in.
Yeah, so all of the animal species, they are like both with you. So they don't have the consciousness to do the karma and elevate themselves. So they have to go through the gradual process of elevating themselves from whatever species they are to the human form of life, and then they can perform that karma, and then they can go back to Godhead.
Right. So.
Or,
Right.
or some, like Krishna's merciful unto them, then he can send the devotee to take care. Like maybe that elephant might go into some place where devotee is taking care of him, and he's listening to Mom the whole day,
Yeah.
or he's eating prashadam, then
Exactly.
he
Yeah, exactly. So we sometimes see that animals get the opportunity to have prasadam, so that speeds their elevation to how they can get the love of God. So that is there, but that also comes with what are the pious activities they have done in their previous life. So as we have seen the example of Bharat Maharaj, right? He also had become a deer. So did he have to go through the process? No, right? Because he had done devotional service in his previous life. But just because when he was leaving his body, he thought about the deer, that he had to take birth of a deer. But he had not forgotten what all he had done in his previous life. And then again, in the next life, he was given a life of Jagatatma, where he could then complete whatever was remaining. So that is how it goes, right? If we are not able to complete the devotional service, if we are not able to complete in this life our bhakti, then we will be given another chance.
But then I have a question. If Krishna says even if you do devotional service all life and you forget me at the end, you should not worry because I will be there to take you back.
Right.
But what happened in the case of Bharat
please repeat the question?
The question was that Krishna mentioned that even if you are doing devotional life, and then if you forget me at the time of birth, then I will take care of you. So then, what happened with Bharat Maharaj? Why was he given birth of a deer?
So like in Bhagavad Gita, only. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead. So I have listened to two kind of explanation for this. One is that this in the stories that are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, they are special cases. They are there to teach us that okay, even if you go to dear body, but if you have done devotional service, then you have the consciousness and you have the chance to go back to Godhead in that body also. So there's a verse that my devotee never perishes. Krishna says that. So to prove that these stories are there, and also that Bharat Maharaj was given the body of deer. I heard it actually in the case of Gajendra that he was King Indradyumna, right, in his past life, and he was doing devotional service, and one rishi came and he was not attentive to greet him, and he was given the body of an elephant. He was cursed to have the body of an elephant. So that was not kind of a curse. That was to speed up his process of going back to Godhead. He would not be able to remember God in the body of human, so that he was given the body of elephant, and the scenarios were made in such a way that he would go back to Godhead faster than in the human form. Like it would take him longer. So that is like kind of a benediction given by the other devotee of the Lord to him.
So what I understand is like it's not necessary Krishna will make you go back to Godhead in this life if the next birth is more fulfilling.
It's also
It's
like
like-
that process has been, you don't know how many births you have, how many karmas you've done, right? It has to become nil. It has to reach that space for you to move closer to him, right? And in case of Bharat Maharaj also, the fact was that he became so attached to the deer that he started losing bhakti. He started not reading Bhagavatam, not doing other things, and everything was about the deer. So it wasn't like just at the time of death he forgot because something happened and he was in pain or something. His attention, his love for Krishna, that started getting diluted because there was another love. And he didn't see Krishna in the deer. Had he seen that, then it wouldn't have been a longer process, right? But the point is that it's not like everything that he did became undo. There was no undo. It carried on. But whatever was needed, the glass had to be full, but it was this much full. So Krishna gave him next birth of a deer to make it full quickly, and then call him back.
Verification?
Yes.
Response.
No, you were going to add.
That's it.
That was.
Yeah, and
Sorry for stealing
in
your
the,
point.
In the form of deer, he has conscious, right, to what to do. That is arrangement.
Right.
And second thing, like if you see in Kali Yuga also, monkeys going to the ground deities and hugging them, and as well as like snakes going to Lord Shiva's place, and as well as if you see a few other in South India, one piggies keep on like taking circumambulate, I mean like like taking pradakshina to the temple, like Varaha temple. It's all like kind of arrangement. They have consciousness, something another way. They fall and they have consciousness, and they are taking this birth with that consciousness, and they are taking it to next level.
Exactly. So like it depends on your previous activities, like previous karma and everything. So we have to get through that. And the main message what we get from Bharat Maharaj is that association. That is why association of devotees is so
So
important.
important.
That if we don't take association of devotees, we might forget that the Lord. So we have to always be in the association of devotees and do devotional service. Otherwise, we will see what will happen. That again we will have to take next step.
Jai.
Yeah.
And also I feel
Before
like
minutes.
when you have devotee association and they pray for you, Krishna listens more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have also seen that. Yeah.
care of your family, right? We have to fulfill the needs and everything. So how is not working hard, going to help? We have to work hard in this material world to get some money, some luxury to, fulfill the desires.
Right. Yeah. So you wanted to say something?
First you answer it, then I'll just add on to it.
Okay, so I would say that that is also important that we need money for some of the things which we have to do, but we should not be doing over endeavoring that it is affecting our devotional service. So we have to maintain a balance that firstly that whatever obligations we have in terms of finances, that whatever we have to fulfill, that should be fulfilled. Our goal should not be I will over endeavor and I'll get more money. That should not be goal, and which will in result affect our devotional service. That should not be a goal. Should be okay, I should only do so much so that it's fulfilling the needs, and then I'm doing devotional service as well to keep a balance. And then once that need is fulfilled and that you don't no more require to fulfill that need, so then increase the devotional service in your life. Is what I would say. Yeah.
It's like let's suppose you have iPhone 12, right? And you are satisfied with it, and your family is looking nice, and everything is being provided. But then you saw iPhone 15 in someone's hand, and you're like, I want this. And then you're like, you were doing your Sunday service, and then you're like, okay, I'll leave it, and then I'll walk 1 month extra on Sundays to be able to afford this. That's like you're over-indulging, like you said, like you're giving up devotional service to satisfy a desire which is not needed. Like it's a want and it's not a
You
need.
mentioned to do the duties to satisfy the family needs.
Yeah, and also what I think is the consciousness behind that also matters. That okay, I'm working, but what is my consciousness behind my work? That I'm working to gratify my senses, or I'm thinking that okay, I am the provider of my family, that I am doing everything, or you think like okay, they are the part and parcels of Krishna, and I'm doing it for them so that I can serve Krishna.
Yeah, and also let's suppose you have a kid and he needs a new laptop for studies. And if then you give up your Sunday service and then you work extra for 1 to be able to afford that for him because he needs it, then it's not.
Right.
Also, the why are you doing it, not just the consciousness, but your reason for doing it matters a lot. Like Krishna never says give up things. Like when Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita, I want to take sannyas, and he's like, you'll do wrong if you take sannyas. You're a Kshatriya, your dharam is to work. So Krishna has given you a family, he's given you a thing to take care of. Look at it as your duty. And think Krishna's made you an instrument. You can work because you have the brain that Krishna gave you. You can think because you have that brain. You can think about providing. And providing for your family does not mean you're going away from Krishna consciousness. No. That's a duty that Krishna has given you. So I feel like if you attach everything to Krishna, it's good, but not at the cost of giving away your services or your duties. Imagine if I stop attending the class and I'm like, this time also I can work and make this extra money.
Exactly.
Then that, I like her point, is the balancing beam part. But as long as why you're doing it, what's your consciousness, you're just a small instrument, nothing else. These things keep you humble, and with the work you're still moving towards Krishna.
Exactly.
Jai.
Jai.
All right. Thank you so much.
Jai.
Jai.